So good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here and to share some views regarding how to make the connected home a reality. So I will cover three questions today. The first one is what connected home do people want? And the next question is what kind of connected home can we get today? And the last question is how to cross the chasm. Okay, so let's start with the first question to say what could be the connected home of tomorrow, let's say in 5 years' time, 2022. I don't know if you know that, if you have a crystal ball, but I think it's a really difficult question. And if you look back 5 years ago, we were maybe with some smart thermostat in the UK. Today you have roughly 1 million. We were with some PV panels on the roof, maybe six years ago. Today we have roughly 1 million. No buzz on a stationary battery for home, no voice assistant, and so on and so forth. So really difficult to predict what could be the connected home of tomorrow. And we know that the future, the trajectory of the future is rarely linear. So we could expect disruption, innovation, breakthrough. So we have to be humble regarding the future, but at the same time we have to be nimble. And we have to prepare the future. We have to be ready for innovation, and we have to contribute to shape the future. That's why we created Blue Lab, which is our acceleration platform, to accelerate innovation for our customers. So we work like a startup, so it's small teams, multidisciplinary, cross-fertility, and we start by creating our innovation tribe, internally and externally. Internally, by having colleagues joining the lab to develop POCs, proof of concept. And externally, by collaborating with startups, with partners, with universities. And we don't do innovation for the sake of innovation. We do innovation really to create the difference which will give us a competitive advantage and which better serve our customers. So we work on different domains, new service, energy services, new business models, and we work, of course, on connected home. So who wants a connected home? That is a good question. And I really like this study from Ericsson, where you discover that a connected home is not only for young adults, a bit speaking in binary mode, 0, 1, eating a pizza and having a skateboard. It seems that families are interested in connected home. And when you discuss with mothers, with young children, with dependent elders, they are really, really keen to have a connected home because they want to simplify their life. They want to have the life easier. That's why they are really keen to have connected home. And when you discuss how do you see that, they are really clear that they expect to have only one provider, or at least one per vertical. And that is really important, I think, as well. So, in terms of success factors to do a nice and a great connected home, I think it's common sense. It must be easy, simple, and extensible. You need to be sure that you have clear benefits. So it means you are able to demonstrate the value, and most of the time through services. Privacy, we have already discussed a lot this morning. Cybersecurity, all that stuff, is a real concern for people. And last but not least, it must be fun. So it's a really straightforward target. So we have no pressure. It's quite simple to do that, I think. So what do we have today? What kind of connected home can we get today? So I was lucky to go to CES in Las Vegas earlier this year. So Even if what happened in Vegas stay in Vegas, I'd like to share my feeling. I think everything is getting connected, everything. And on the top of that, the cost to connect an object is tending roughly to zero, which means that the connected object will be the norm in the coming years. So when you see new protocols like LoRa or stuff like that, very cheap, clearly a connected fridge or a fridge will have the same price. And when you look at this study from Gartner, they expect to see 500 connected devices or objects at home in 2022. Back to the question in 2022. And I think for the better and for the worst. So everything will be connected, your toothbrush, your airbrush, your pet. And we know that at the end, the objects we will survive will be the objects which create value, which create services, and that is also very, very important. And when you look at how to operate this, let's say, world of connected objects, again at CES, it was impressive to see that there were more than 100 connected home platforms. So there is a real question today. How could we benefit from this connected world if you don't have a PhD in interoperability? So, and what about the consumer? That is a real question. Don't forget that home is house with people inside. And maybe in this emerging market of connected home, we were a bit techno-push. It's really clear that the answer will come from the consumer. And that is really important. The people within the homes will decide the value of the connected home. And that's why we say how to cross the chasm. So clearly, for us as an energy supplier, is back to basic. So we need to do the basic right. It must be easy, simple, extensible. And we know that we will move from device to service. So the value of the connected home will come from the service you generate and not from the piece of kit. That is really, really important. And there will be a need of orchestration, a way to operate all the platforms together and to generate the intelligence by connecting all the objects together. And we are convinced that we are not yet arrived. It's a journey. It's a stepping stone journey where we have a sort of 3 steps. Show me, help me, do it for me. Show me means for the energy to explain what is energy. What is kilowatt hour, kilowatt? And for instance, the in-home display from the smart meter is a good example because you start to visualize energy and to understand how you use energy. The next step is help me. Help me means you start to understand energy and then you accept to see how you could optimize the way you use energy. And the smart thermostat is a good example where you can start to pilot your boiler remotely when you are not at home and so on and so forth. And the last step, which will occur only if you have the trust of the consumers, is do it for me. When you start to operate the home and to optimize it, opening the access to markets such as time of use tariff, demand response, demand side management. So really important to say that it's a journey. So I'd like to give you just 2 examples of innovation we have developed in Blue Lab in this journey for connected home. And the first one is what we've done for improving the user experience and what we developed regarding voice assistant. So I have a small movie.
Alexa, turn the lights on.
Today we've been testing some connected home proofs of concept that we've been developing for Blue Lab. So we're in one of our customers' homes, Amy, where she's been testing the proof of concept we've developed on Amazon's Echo platform. This is a connected home voice-enabled device.
Alexa, ask Heat Smart to turn the temperature up.
Okay, your temperature has been set to 21 degrees for the next hour.
We want to make customers' information as simple and transparent to them as possible.
Alexa, ask EDF Energy what my account balance is.
Your account balance is £38.75 credit.
We've built a cloud-based data platform that aggregates connected home and energy data. And we've also built a query engine that interprets the customer's commands and gives them a simple and intuitive response with the information that they were looking for.
Alexa, ask EDF Energy how much my energy cost yesterday.
Your energy spent for 7th of March 2016 was £3.19.
Alexa, ask Heat Smart to turn the temperature down.
Your temperature has been set to 20 degrees for the next hour.
Alexa, turn lights off.
So this is what we have developed in collaboration with Amazon, and we were the first energy supplier to offer such a service to our customers. And what is really interesting to see is the feedback on the web page, such as managing energy is now fun, or it's cool to do a meter reading. And that, for me, is really important, because when you start from kilowatt hour and kilowatt, having such a message means that we are starting to shift the way we are able to engage with our customers and the way we revisit the relation, the user experience for our customers. The second example is the one Vincent described this morning. We are working with a startup house which won our Blue Lab Challenge earlier this month. The startup has developed a very innovative approach where they track the energy consumption and they create a daily routine. And they are able to detect in your daily routine a break in the behavior. And if, for instance, you have a vulnerable a person like your grandmother alone in her home, very happy, but I mean, it's good to know that she's safe, she's warm, and she's well. So using energy consumption to create services like that, I think is really where we are seeing the value. And it's really good because connecting energy to people is really in the heart of our mission. So we are really delighted to work with this startup. So to conclude, maybe some takeaways. So regarding connected home, I think it's clearly obvious that you have to be proactive in the innovation ecosystem because we don't really know what could be a connected home of tomorrow. So you need to be part of the story. We know that smart technologies will bring major opportunities for new business. That was the case over the last 5 years, and it will be the same in the coming years. We have to be consumer-centric. We were maybe a bit more techno-push. It's the right time to create services and value for the consumers. Connected home are more beneficial to families and not only young early adopters. They need us to turn individual products into logical, relatable use cases. And last but not least, magical user experience that hides the technical complexity and fun are key. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean-Benoit. It's great to see EDF Energy has a more opportunistic view of the connected homes world, and you're making that a reality. Now, we've got time for one question, if we could. Are there anyone who is willing to ask one? There we go.
Hi, I'm Emily from The Times. Just wondered if you could talk a bit about kind of really big picture, what the rationale is for doing this. Is the driver to get to that point where you can control the home and therefore it's useful for managing the grid? Or is it more about sort of survival of utilities because they're going to want someone to manage their home, and if it's not you, it'll be Amazon? So why are you doing this?
I think connected home is not totally clear where is the value. That is, we are still in the early adopter phase, and we haven't really crossed the tipping point to the mass market. For us, as an energy company, we know how to operate complicated systems. We know energy, we know customer, we know trading, and we are convinced that there is an optimization level coming at home. And this is where we are seeing the added value as an energy supplier today. Perfect.
That was a really, really good question. One that we can build on later on, Jean-Benoit, if you're around as well.
Okay.
Is that? Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much.